You're listening to Cosmic Cousins Soul-Centered Astrology. For ground in that ass from all the new age sass. I am your host, Jeff Henshaw. Cosmic Cousins is a soul-centered astrology podcast. It's dedicated to honoring the interconnectedness of our universal family through embodied health, self-discovery, and deeper learning. Hey Cosmic Cousins, I am reaching out to each of you as we learn to navigate the rapidly changing state of our world, our communities, and most of all, ourselves due to the coronavirus. And so wherever you are, I'm hoping that you're taking gentle care of yourself and each other and being as responsible as you can. And with that being said, I believe that astrology is a really powerful tool for us during these times to offer us healing, bring us in the present moment, and also offer us an objective perspective of what's going on. So I'm adjusting my own offerings to provide you more support, and it's important to me to uphold and honor the work that we do together. So supporting you on your journey with astrology is really important. For starters, I'm excited to announce that the podcast is on Spotify now, on iTunes and Podbean. It has been on those two services, but I've now gotten it up on Spotify, and I will be releasing episodes more regularly with the hopes of offering you more moral and holistic support at this time. I'm also offering free videos with deep dive astrological energy updates, tarot ritual, and guided somatic meditations, and you can find those videos on both Instagram and YouTube. I'll put a link in the show notes so you can follow me and subscribe on YouTube and Instagram if you're interested in videos. And in addition, I'm now offering a discount of $75 off 90-minute astrology readings from now until April 15th of 2020. And this is for individuals with financial needs because of the loss of a job or work or extra medical costs due to COVID-19. So if you believe yourself to be eligible for this discount, there's no need to explain. You can use the coupon code SAFE and GROUNDED upon checking out. I'll also put all of this information in the show notes for you. And so again, it's so important for me to be of service for you during these times. We have some new Patreon supporters. Dana Wall, Rachel Lau, and Alice Arden have signed up. And then Abigail Strain is a continued Patreon supporter who updated how much they were giving. So if you are interested in supporting me on this journey of astrology, if you enjoy my offerings, the podcast, my videos, everything else that I post out in the world, you can become a Patreon supporter, and you can go to patreon.com/cosmiccousins. So again, thank you Dana, Rachel, Alice, and Abigail for becoming a Patreon supporter. It means the world to me that you tune into the show and that you value it enough to make a monthly contribution. So thank you so much. Welcome to the show. Today is the Aries New Moon. So today, if you're listening to this live, it's March 24th, 2020. And we have the Aries New Moon, which happened really early this morning, and for some of you, late last night. And the reason I'm getting this episode to you after the new moon, I usually like to do it a day or two before, is because I have been working on a workshop download on Black Moon Lilith. So we're going to talk about Black Moon Lilith today. Unleash the queer witch in your chart. This is what I'm calling the workshop download. And the reason I'm releasing this now is because the sun lines up with Black Moon Lilith in the sky this week. So we're going to be feeling Black Moon Lilith themes with this Aries New Moon. We're also going to be connecting to the planet Chiron. Chiron is a planet of the wounded healer. So this healing and wounds are going to come up with this Aries New Moon today. We'll explore Chiron and Black Moon Lilith along with the soul-centered invitation of Aries. And so we can start by connecting to Aries by taking the Emperor card out from the tarot. This is, if you work with the tarot, the Emperor is the soul growth card for Aries. And the Emperor is amazing because it is showing Aries not so much as this thrusting forward energy. Cardinal fire, it's often felt and talked about as this like striking a match. But when we look at the Emperor, we feel much more grounded. We are sitting on a throne of our higher self. The Emperor is in a vast landscape. It looks like, to me, I picture the Grand Canyon. So when you are in the Grand Canyon, connecting to the ancient wisdom of the land, this is the expansive soul-centered energy of Aries. It is this very responsible, authoritative, grounded in one's truth, grounded in one's birthrights. That is, we can find this when we're connecting to a tree or to a rock or to a river. It is the energy of I am. So the phrase for Aries is I am. So we start at the first tier of Aries with I am me. And so you might say that to yourself today. I am, and you can even fill in the blank with what you identify as or what traits you are wanting to focus on. I am safe and protected could be a really nice one for us right now. I'm safe in my home. I'm safe and protected by the earth. But as we evolve from the I am me, it becomes I am you. And this shows the journey of Aries evolving through Libra. I am you. So here, let's talk about, so the new moon is Tuesday, right? March 24th. And whenever it's a new moon, the sun and moon line up, so we get a chance to realign with our conscious awareness, sun, and our subconscious awareness, the moon. So it is a time of quieting, going within, setting new intentions for the next cycle, and particularly through the lens of Aries here, right? So I am me, and now I am you. This is the interpersonal relationship. Aries is just as much as about taking care of the self as it is taking care of other people. So it's in Aries that we realign with our birthrights, with our individuality, with our identity. So Tuesday, March 24th, the Aries New Moon, and then Wednesday, March 25th, the sun lines up with Chiron in Aries. And so that is at 9:27 a.m. East Coast time in the United States, 6:27 a.m. West Coast time in the United States. And that's going to be at the 5th degree of Aries. So the new moon is here at the 4th degree. Chiron, sun lines up with Chiron at the 5th degree. And then on Thursday, Sun and Aries lines up with Black Moon Lilith. So we are shining a light first to the subconscious realms on Tuesday, our deeper emotions, then to our wounds and healing on Wednesday, and then on Thursday, the aspects of us that feel repressed by our modern patriarchal society. And all of these are lining up with the vibration of Aries, which is the individual. So it is, this week is a time where we become very aware of any issues which represent our ability to act or to initiate. So Chiron and Aries, we're talking about wounds to the very sense of self. And we have Chiron and Aries for about 7 years. We're just at the beginning of this cycle. We're just at the 5th degree of Chiron and Aries. And Chiron stays in Aries longer than any other sign because the orbit of Chiron is not a perfect circle. It actually stays in Libra the shortest amount of time. And so Chiron, with this placement of Chiron in Aries during this time period, our very sense of who we are as individuals may be challenged. Our very identity may go through some hard realizations. Who am I? You might find yourself asking, particularly this week. And particularly for those of you that are going through some sort of transformation at this time, Perhaps those of you that are at home and not allowed to go to work, right? So this is bringing to our awareness the nodes of fate. So the nodes of fate have been on the Cancer-Capricorn axis for the last year and a half. So since November 7th of 2018, this is when the nodes of fate moved into the Cancer-Capricorn axis. So the nodes of fate represent what's going on with eclipse seasons, right? So the past year and a half, we've had the eclipses in Capricorn and Cancer. And so on a practical level, the nodes of fate simply indicate for you where we are heading, North Node, the direction we're being invited to go. And then what we are releasing is the South Node. The reason I'm bringing these up is because this Aries New Moon is squaring the nodes of fate. When there's a square, it means there is tension and opportunity for breakthrough. So right now, let's talk about the nodes of fate then. The Cancer North Node has been gently beckoning us towards the lunar, right? Cancer, the moon. This is since November 7th of 2018, this whole year and a half period that we find ourselves in, we've been invited to go towards grandmother, towards intuition, home and family, deep self-care, nurturance, ancestral healing, and the matriarchy. Meanwhile, on the other side of the astrological wheel, we have the South Node in Capricorn, and this has been pulling us into outdated modes of existence. This is the South Node. The South Node can sometimes feel like a slide or like a slippery slope that we might fall into. And so with the South Node in Capricorn, it's been pulling us into authority, pulling us into hard work, pulling us into a focus on our public appearance. Enormous pressure we've been putting on ourselves the last year and a half to succeed, to receive recognition. Low form of this is greed, right? This is anything related to father. It's anything related to long-term planning, to business, to corporations, to government, to environment. Capricorn, collective earth, is also about the environment. So outdated things with our public appearance, outdated things with our government, with the patriarchy, all of this, the South Node has been coming through, and it feels like if you take a plate to the garbage disposal and you're just wiping it off. And so South Node Capricorn has been inviting us to release that, and then North Node in Cancer has been inviting us home. And so often we feel enticed and more comfortable falling into the energy of the South Node. But the invitation for expansion and evolution is indicated by meditating on the North Node. So the nodes of fate are in their final few degrees of the Cancer-Capricorn axis, and so they're offering us a culmination of their lesson. And so here we're being forced home in many ways, Cancer North Node, and away from business as usual. So we still may feel the pull of the Capricorn South Node. I know for me, I feel this in my own life. I'm finding myself really stepping up more into my role as an astrologer because there's more people that need support right now. And so that's what's interesting is a lot of us are working really hard right now. There's many of us who are not able to work, and then there's also a lot of us that are really stepping up in an even bigger and more expansive way, which is making me think of Jupiter in Capricorn. Jupiter entered Capricorn on December 2nd of 2019. And so this indicates expansion around Capricorn themes. So it's an interesting alignment. We have so many planets in Capricorn right now. Jupiter, Saturn, Pluto, South Node, right? All of this is going to be squaring the Aries energy, this Aries season, our individuality. So with Jupiter in Capricorn, there's been many people have been at risk of losing their jobs or even their lives at this time, but there's also an equal expansion of opportunity for people to step up to the podium of their higher self. We're talking doctors and nurses, scientists, farmers, political and spiritual leaders, psychologists, counselors. I know as an astrologer, I'm feeling this expansion. Teachers, parents, accountants, people in the tech world, all of these people and many more are actually really needed at this time. And even artists and singers and musicians and comedians are showing up in new ways. So many of us are being given great opportunity to use our public offering in the most responsible of ways, right? Given a great opportunity, this is Jupiter, to use our public offering, Capricorn, in the most responsible of ways, Saturn, to help usher us through this death, rebirth, transformation. This is Pluto. So how are you being asked to expand into your most public-oriented self at this time? This is the invitation of Jupiter in Capricorn. And if you're not, if you don't find yourself here, then it's an opportunity for you to rediscover who you are as an individual identity. Aries New Moon is squaring this. And so we've got the nodes of fate right now are at the 3rd degree of Cancer Capricorn. This new moon is at the 4th degree of Aries. Capricorn, cardinal earth. Cancer, cardinal water. Aries, cardinal fire. So they're making a T-square in the sky right now. And so squares, it feels like there is a resistance here. It's like, I want to be an individual, but I'm being asked to release my career and go towards home. How am I going to be an individual? Well, we're asking ourselves that, and we're also healing wounds around that. So with this Chiron and Aries hanging out right here with the new moon, Chiron and Aries represents the issues with the self to act and initiate. So it is a time period where we are really going to be asked to heal our individuality, to heal our very sense of self. I know for me, I've been alone as an individual since March 1st in this cabin up here in Northern California. And I just ended up signing on to do another month here. So it's going to be another month of solitude. I have Mars in Aries and my North Node is in Aries. So I'm having an opportunity to really heal Chiron, a lot of wounds I have around being alone. So if you have found yourself surrounded by a lot of people right now, because I know some people are quarantined at home with groups of people, really make sure on this Aries new moon that you're carving out alone time as best as you can, particularly to heal your sense of identity. So, and if you don't, then low form Aries energy might come up, right? Which can be anger, our aggression, our frustration, our restlessness, right? So some of those, whatever emotions are coming up around this fiery Aries energy, just acknowledge it. And particularly if you're in relationships, right? One-on-one relationships. Libra is one-on-one relationships. And so Aries new moon is about the self. It's about you as an individual. Who are you when you are not codependent on a relationship? Who are you as an individual? Looking out for you first. And so as you heal this, Chiron, the wounded healer, evolves into this energy of the mentor or the healer. And so if you've done a lot of the work that I'm talking about right now on yourself, and particularly if you have strong Aries placements in your chart, like for me, Mars in Aries is dominant in my chart. If you've got Aries sun, moon, rising, you likely have done this work already, right? And so you are maybe finding yourself stepping up into the role as the healer, Chiron, or as the mentor. And it's here that you become very conscious of your rights as an individual. And then you can help others to become conscious of their rights as individuals too. And so I feel this when I'm giving people astrology readings right now. I've done a lot of this Chiron and Aries work, probably because I have a North Node in Aries that's been guiding me towards this individuality my whole life. So I can really find myself coming into a place of helping to heal and empower other people's sense of identity through the work and the offering that I'm doing. So it's like taking care of the self first. This is the lesson of Chiron and Aries. And now I can teach you how to take care of yourself next. So it is a very prominent healing energy for everyone at this time to come into their birthrights. And so that's when we were saying, I am me. First level here, I am Aries, me. Second level, I am you, right? This conscious awareness of the other person. I'm going to uplift you now. And then we expand it into the most soul-centered attributes when we say, I am life. I am life. I am connected to the rock, the river, the tree, the flame. So connecting to the 4 elements is really important with Aries energy, and it's making me think of the Magician in the tarot, who's number 1, and Aries is number 1. The Magician has all 4 elements on the table, right? And so it's working with the elements as a manifester. So when you say, I am the flame, I am the water, I am the earth, I am the air, you let go of the ego's need to attach to whatever it is you are creating, and you allow it to just flow through you. I'm finding right now, as we're in this Aries energy, like I just did this 4-hour workshop download last night, and now I'm doing a podcast episode today, and then later I'm going to record a video. There's no time to waste here in this Aries energy when you are just opening yourself up to being a conscious flow for energy. So for those of you that have your offering, like I'm thinking of like nurses right now are showing up, and they don't have time to think about themselves. They just are life. They allow it to flow through them. So see which of these levels you're at this moment in time. Do you have wounds around your identity and your sense of self? And if you do, can you really nurture and cradle the identity? Are you holding space for someone else on their path of individuation? Or are you allowing yourself to be like the Magician and allowing energy to flow through you so that you can be of service to the world and make this world a more magical place? Magician. So that's the Chiron in Aries. And then we also have Black Moon Lilith here too. That's bringing in this wild primal energy. Black Moon Lilith is, I call her the queer witch in our chart. And so when we're talking about Black Moon Lilith, it indicates this wild, deep, ancestral, subconscious drive towards carving out your own path. Black Moon Lilith and Aries we can feel as the deep need for individuation and independence. So this is like the pioneer witch. And so the sun lines up with Black Moon Lilith on Thursday. And this placement is likely to be pointing us towards this place where there has been repression. Maybe some of us have been repressed to come into our identities by our modern patriarchal society. Maybe some of us have been told, you know what? You don't have a right as a woman. You don't have a right as a queer person. You don't have a right as a witch to enact your initiatory rights to create new life. And so Aries, right, it is the initial spark of existence. And so during this time period, during this week, we also are healing Chiron, our wild feminine energy. And if you're interested in learning more about Black Moon Lilith, again, I have a 4-hour workshop download that is available. And I released it this week because of this configuration, and so it's a powerful time. If you purchase it by Thursday, I have a coupon code available that is in the show notes. Otherwise, it will be on my website available for purchase at any time. So at this time, let's go ahead and bring our awareness to our body and to our breath for a little meditation for embodied health. Each week on Cosmic Cousins, we always carve out space to bring our awareness to our body and to our breath. Each astrological sign is connected to a different part of the body, and so Aries rules over the head. And so you can think of the head of the ram. So at this time, go ahead and bring your awareness to the head and to the brain, and take a deep, nourishing inhale here. Maybe you even place your hands here. So what I'm doing is I'm taking my fingertips and I'm placing it here on the hairline. And I'm offering a gentle massage to this part of the body. Just breathing new life into the brain, breathing new life into the head. You can honor and acknowledge this sacred part of the body. I'm thinking of how we enter this world head first. So I'm honoring the entrance to this plane of existence. This is the energy of Aries, of new life. But we can also connect to the energy that is around the head, like the crown chakra, this part of the auric field here. And so if there's any thoughts that you have that aren't supporting you, you can just flick them away. And then you can bring in new and supportive thoughts and bring them right here into the brain. For Aries, I come forth, and from the plane of mind I rule. I come forth, and from the plane of mind I rule. Breathing that into the head, breathing that into the body, breathing into your identity, your individuality. Chiron and Aries sending healing to the head, sending healing to your very sense of self, to act, to initiate, to be in this world. And Black Moon Lilith, sending healing to the inner queer witch, the identity that you have connected to Black Moon Lilith. Black Moon Lilith. Black Moon Lilith might bring up deeper emotions like rage and grief and sorrow that are connected to anything that has been repressed. This could be the earth-based religions like paganism, witches, women, people on the periphery of society, all of that. We might become aware of that at this time, so we're sending love and healing to all of that within and without. And so as you're breathing into all of this, reconnecting with your Aries individuality, identity, I have a really powerful invocation for you all that's been sent in to us from Erin Aquarian, the full-time witch. And so as we listen to this invocation, I would like for you to breathe into the brain, to breathe into the identity, and feel yourself drawing energy up from the core of the earth. This new life is coming from. And so we can even think of the energy of a volcano, right? I had the opportunity to live close to a volcano in Hawaii for a while, and it's bringing this ancient wisdom that is erupting. It's like a destructive wisdom that is bringing new life, right? It's creating new earth every single day that the volcano is flowing. So we can connect to that image of the volcano as we breathe into the head, and we'll listen to this invocation from Erin Aquarian now.
We call in the energy of fearlessness. We call in the energy of infinite courage. We call in the wisdom of our pre-empire ancestors who lived in right relationship with all that is. We call in the resilience of life. We call in the genius of evolution. We call in the miracle of immunity. We call in the groundedness of gravity. We call in the calm of truth. We call in the peace of clarity. We call in the abundance of nature to bring us enough to thrive. We call in the intelligence of biodiversity. We call in the inspiration of unique genius. We call in the courage of the collective human heart. We call in the shields and swords of righteous warriors. We call in the compassion of universal love, unconditionally pouring out to give and receive and give. We call in the perspective of time. We call in the fierceness of wildness. We call in the medicine of magic. We call in the manifestation of the highest good and harming none. We reach back in time to join hands with the witches, the healers, the soothsayers, the medicine women, the medicine men, the elders, the oracles, the seers. What was forgotten comes back to our minds. We call in the gifts that we came here to give. We call in the consciousness that liberates all. We anchor these frequencies in the fields of our own minds, hearts, spirits, bodies, souls. We create these frequencies wherever we walk, with the words we speak, the actions we take. May each thought, word, and choice serve the highest good of all that is and harm none. May we be guided and supported to contribute to the best possible outcome in these times. So will it be.
Really, really powerful. Thank you, Aaron Aquarian, for sending that in to us. And we can really feel the energy of Aries here. And also Aries, how it's lining up with Chiron and Black Moon Lilith. Because Aries, one of the soul-centered traits that we have for Aries, from when we did our Zodiac Queens project last year, is deeply honors individuals of the past by courageously moving forward. Deeply honors individuals of the past by courageously moving forward. This is soul-centered Aries. And our Queen of Aries is Maya Angelou. And it's making me think of, in one of her poems, where she says, "Bringing the gifts that my ancestors gave, I am the hope and the dream of the slave." So bringing the gifts that my ancestors gave. This is Aries. We got to remember, Aries is the first sign, but it's also evolving off of Pisces. So we're evolving off of this deep well of emotion that we felt during Pisces season, and now we're drawing all of that universal compassion, mysticism, spirituality into the individual form. So bringing the gifts that my ancestors gave. I am the hope and the dream of the slave. So we've got Sun in Maya Angelou, Queen of Aries, Moon in Maya Angelou, Black Moon Lilith, and Chiron in Maya Angelou. So let's listen to a clip of Maya Angelou speaking so that we can feel the energy of Aries manifested in human form.
You may write me down in history with your bitter, twisted lies. You may trod me in the very dirt, but still like dust I'll rise. You can shoot me with your words. You can cut me with your lies. You can kill me with your hatefulness, but just like life, I'll rise.
All right, Cosmic Cousins, thank you as always for tuning into the show. We could feel there in Maya Angelou's poem, which is called Still I Rise, the energy of Aries. Aries is connected to the sunrise. And so if you get a chance over this Aries season, wake up early. Go see the sunrise at least one day. Allow yourself that gift. I know it's not the easiest thing in the world, but if you can, allow yourself to align with the vibration of the sunrise. Tune into the energy of the volcano, of the sprouting seeds. Tune into chickens hatching to spring here on the northern hemisphere. If you're on the southern hemisphere, you're going into autumn, right? And so we're at this perfect balance between day and night this time of year. And so it's a time to bring balance within yourself here at Aries season. So light a candle, feel the energy of the flame, breathe into the head, be really gentle with your sense of self. And I'll see you next time. If you'd like, rate 5 stars, leave some comments and love. Let me know how everything's going out there. Sign up for the newsletter if you'd like to stay up to date. And find me on YouTube and on Spotify. Take sweet care, cousins. And remember, deep breaths.